Hello, my name is Jennifer, and welcome to my Sims 4 Discover University Deep Dive Livestream overview and more. So yesterday we had a deep dive livestream by the Sims team where they went over essentially Discover University information, but we also got some information that we are going to have a Maxi Monthly this Tuesday. We got lots of Discover University information. We got a little bit of information of some of the new content coming with the game update. And we also were told that Game Changer content was going to be coming out this weekend. So with respect to the Maxi Monthly this Tuesday, they did indicate towards the end of the live stream that they were leaving some things to be shown on Tuesday that related to Discover University. So it appears that we have not got everything with this live stream. So some of the information we did learn with this live stream was we got an overview of the course and degrees. We got information about the new world and the lot information. We got a little bit of build by. There was an indication that that would be something you could look for in the Game Changer information that's coming later, but we did get some information. We got information about the new skills and the careers. Again, not a lot, but some. We got a lot of information about the bots and Servo, actually. And we got sort of a quick look at the Create a Sim items that are coming and also some just miscellaneous other gameplay information. And that's essentially how I split up the information that we got in the live stream. I'll try and have some clips from the live stream going behind that relate to these as I am talking about them. So to start with, the course and degree overview. There are, as we already knew, degree and distinguished degrees, and there are 13 in total, which we also already knew. Now, getting into a degree program is easier and pretty much from what I can gather, guaranteed. But if you're going to be able to get into distinguished degree, that sort of depends on your high school grades, but also skills. So you do not need to play a sim through the teen years to be able to get into a distinguished degree. You can get that as a young adult and up. Just they'll look at your skills to see whether or not you'll get into those. You apply to university from the mailbox or computer, and the information on the degrees will tell you which careers they help, i.e. which careers the degree helps, and you will get some starting boosts and bonuses. And it's just a generic, they say you get starting boosts and bonuses because I expect it depends on obviously whether you get a regular degree or if you get a distinguished degree, but it probably maybe depends on how well you do in your degree. Possibly if you get a better degree, you maybe get better boosts and whatnot. So that was not communicated, so we have more to learn about that. Now, to graduate for a degree, you need 12 credits, and you can take up to 4 a term. So there's no length of time as to how long it'll take to get a degree, because it really depends on how many credits you take a term. And then once you finish one degree, you can go back and do another degree. But it didn't sound like you could do 2 degrees at the same time. You can do 1 and you can go back and do another one. And we already knew from the trailer that you're supposed to be able to switch schools. I assume the same applies to degrees. You can switch your degree, I would guess. Terms are 5 business days, i.e. weekends don't count. So one of the suggestions that they gave was that if you sort of started partway through the week, then you get the weekend to help you towards doing all of the course requirements, so that you essentially get 7 days versus 5. So I don't know if you start on a Monday, if it ends on a Friday. Kind of sounded like maybe it did. So essentially you probably want to start on a Tuesday through Friday to be able to get the weekend in and finish after the weekend. And there are some one-off skill classes you can take, and you can also sit in on guest lectures. There were different type of scholarships. They were based on skill. So there's a whole bunch depending on, they'll look at what your sim skills are. So they will vary based on where you live and based on whether they are needed. Essentially, if a sim is poor, it seems like there's some type of scholarship for that too. Of course, you can also borrow, and sims start paying off the loans after they graduate. I had heard they pay it as soon as they graduate, so I'm not sure if it's like you get it in your weekly bills that you pay, or if it's like all at once, because they said in the live stream after you graduate as opposed to upon graduation. So now I'm not sure. But if you don't pay, they did again confirm, beware the repo man with respect to these loans. Hopefully it's only with respect to the loans. So that's kind of the information there. I'm really looking forward to trying this out to see what benefits you can get from that. And the skill classes themselves were just like for skills. Essentially, you could take a handiness class, you can take a rocket science class, you can take a class for many skills. So with respect to the new world, Brightchester, it has 3 neighborhoods. There is one for each school, so essentially one for Brightchester, one for Foxbury, plus there is the town in the middle. The university neighborhoods come with 2 new lot types and 4 buildable lots each. There's university housing and student commons. There's 3 university housing lots and there's 1 student commons. You can change the lot types around certain parameters, which will go into a little more detail when I talk about the university housing. So the university neighborhood also, each of them also have a common area where events take place, and they are outside the common area and obviously the whole neighborhood around. The town itself has the library that you can use to study in for both universities. It has the bar and it has 3 small residential lots, 20 by 15, so very small. 2 of them are occupied, one by like an elderly couple and their teen grandson, and the other one by the Pleasant twins from Sims 2. And also in the world, there are some areas of swimmable water. So not all of the water is swimmable, but there is swimmable water in the new world. Now, as I said, I was going to touch a little bit more detail on the university housing itself. Now, we cannot edit university housing when you're in live mode. Like with a lot of things you need to have the cheat on to be able to do that. You can edit it, but not from live mode. There are up to 10 Sims in the university housing, which I mentioned was a new lot type, and it depends on the number of beds. There's a max, obviously the 8 that you can control is still going to be there, and the rest would be roommates, which is a new thing that comes with the pack. The university housing, you have to specify whether it's Foxbury or Brightchester. It's limited to one school or the other. You can edit the lots for managed worlds if there are no playable Sims on the lot, or essentially living on the lot. So not only, you can't just like have them travel off and then edit it. They can't be living on the lot. You have to actually move them out of the lot and then you can edit it. And then you can change the lot type. You can make it just regular residential. And then of course, if it's regular residential, you can have people from both schools living there and so on. There's also, you cannot have a stove or a barbecue per the lot restrictions, but you can add a cafeteria item, which that is what's in the student commons. You can add that to the lot. It's not considered the same, and that will have someone who will come and service it, but only certain hours. And in the world, there are penthouse type lots, and they're currently used as the university housing. Though they're not all university housing, but they both of the worlds have university housing that's on a penthouse type lot in those 2 neighborhoods. They didn't go over the build by objects in a lot of detail, and they did suggest looking out for the game changer content that's coming this weekend. They did, however, show a quick look at the catalog, which I'll hopefully be showing here. What they did touch on is that there are more live draggable objects, and that was to make it easier to decorate those locked dorms unless you use a cheat. So there's pictures that you can drag, some rugs, like area rugs, a lot. The new mini fridge is live draggable, microwave. There's a lot of things that are live draggable so that you don't actually need the build mode unlocked to be able to move things. Of course, you can't use the Alt key, but you can turn things around using the regular keys for that. Now, one thing is the rooms that they show are pretty bare compared to what is shown in the trailers, which to me makes a lot of sense because as a student, when you're going to school, usually the rooms are pretty bare. Like there's a bed, there's a desk. You decorate it yourself and put your own personal touches on it. So the fact that they're bare is logical, but they're just sort of showing how they could look once your Sims have moved in. The only thing is, to get that look, you would have to go in and edit and use the cheat to decorate it because it would have been built with the Move Objects cheat. So that was questioned, and I'll have some information about that at the end. Now, to be able to buy those new things, since it is locked, there is a new university kiosk. And you can buy the items for the dorms, the decorations, the mini fridges, things like that. You can get course books, you can get your homework, you can get bicycles and your soccer balls, things like that. There's quite a few things, but not the whole catalog, obviously. Only so many stuff, and all the things that you can buy there can go into your Sims personal inventory and be dragged out. The kiosk also gives information on university, so if you want to visit the town and check out the university sort of as a teen, because you can't go to school as a teen, but if you want to just go visit, you can get information on the university, but even you attending can do the same thing. One of the other items that is in there is a special chest that you can put other items in it, and it doesn't share inventory with any other chests that are on the lot. So it's live draggable. You can put it in, and the stuff you buy in the kiosk, you can drag it in there. And then if you have, say, 2 Sims on a lot and they have their own chests, they can drag their own things in it. Usually things in the game share inventory, so that's actually a really good plus. And so you could obviously put all the stuff in there and drag that, I'm assuming, drag that chest into your personal inventory and move out so that it's not like all filling up your personal inventory. I'm hoping. They didn't show that, but I'm hoping that's the way it works. Of course, there's the new mini fridge, and you can put a microwave right on top, as well as some decor items. And a couple of new foods that I noticed mentioned that seemed new to me were instant noodles, which I knew a lot of people really wanted that, because I guess a lot of people eat that at university, and pizza rolls. I'm not sure about the other things, but there are some other foods that you can do. Of course, the instant noodles and pizza rolls, you do need the microwave to be able to have them as opposed to regular quick meals. One other new thing that I'm actually hoping is not specific to university and that everybody gets it is that you can lock the computers to one sim or specified sim. So essentially it has it on the computer and it says lock, and then essentially you can, when you have your guests coming over, they can't use your computer, which is really, really good. Another new object that they mentioned and they showed was something called a research machine, which obviously would be used with one of the skills. So you can research various things, including the secret society. There are no bunk beds with the pack, but they did say they could be possible in a future pack. So they also talked about the fact that it sort of looked and sort of around the world, bunk beds aren't that common at universities. Now moving on, there's 2 new skills. That's robotics and research and debate skill, which is what I'm assuming that research machine is for, plus other things too. And also there, as we already knew, there are the 3 new careers, each with 2 branches. There's the engineer, which has a computer or a mechanical branch. And obviously with the computer, you need to focus on programming. And with the mechanical, you focus on that new robotics skill. There's the lawyer, which you can be a judge or private attorney. And the teacher, where you can be a professor or an administrator. So the careers aren't active, and I didn't really expect them to be. They did call them a work from home hybrid, which I'm not exactly sure what that means. They gave some examples of tasks, but I guess we'll find out soon enough since it comes out very soon. So there are 2 other things that they had on the careers or work tab, which is soccer player or esports gamer, but they're unpaid. They think they're just essentially, kind of like the equivalent of after school activities that you get when you are like a child or high school student, but I'm speculating there. They can also be watched. The soccer or the esports gaming can be watched at the stadium. Each of the neighborhoods have their own stadium, but they're rabbit holes, and they're like Friday and Saturday night, and they alternate between. So Friday night is esports gamer and Saturday night soccer at one of the schools, and vice versa at the other school. The other thing they did talk about a lot were the bots, which is made using the robotics station, which is another new build item that they showed, and needs the robotics skill. So as you develop your robotics skill, you can unlock new types of bots and other things, not just bots and servo. There are other things you can build using the robotics station. But there are 4 types of bots. There is the party bot, there is the repair bot, the cleaning bot, and the gardening bot. And they all kind of do what you'd expect them to do, except for the party bot will also give you food, as well as some music and whatnot. Servo, you need to max your skill, and once you have built him fully, he or she actually will become a part of your household when you activate them. You assign the gender so they can be male or female, and you can name them. They can learn skills, which is how they get enhanced, and then they can learn the robotic skill and make other servos and so on. So they have different needs than regular Sims. They need fun, they need social, they need durability and charge. They can woohoo, but they cannot try for baby, and they can die. Bots and servo don't react well to water, and that includes rain. So if you have seasons, that will have an impact on them. And if they go swimming or have a shower, that will have an impact on them too. They can be repaired, but if you leave them, they'll eventually degrade to essentially nothing from what they were saying, and that's essentially how they die. So, and as I was saying, you can make other things on the robotic station. In the trailer, there was like an outfit that looked like a robot that your sim can put on. They showed that in action, and if you put it on, there's an option to like hover, so you can hover around when they move. And there's like a robotic arm that you can create on there, and if your sims wear that when they are working on the station, they'll build their skill more quickly, and it'll help protect them from getting hurt. And there's some toys they can make on there. Those were the things that they kind of talked about, but didn't actually show the toys in there. I think they mentioned a helicopter too, but sort of in passing. So for Create a Sim, they did sort of show it, and I'll have it running here behind. It is only, all that was shown was for teen and up, and I think that's pretty much, that's what they have, is for teen and up. There were lots of casual clothes that suit the university theme, 2 different types of cap and gown, or gowns, I should say, for graduation, which they did comment that the graduation, they go to the graduation, it seems like it's a rabbit hole, and they come out afterwards. As we knew, there were the new piercings, and that is in the category that was previously called earrings only, and it still currently looks like an earring, but they call it piercings now. And there was a whole bunch of new small tattoos that they showed, which we'd seen a few of before, but they showed them in the live stream. There is one new aspiration, which is academic, and it is under knowledge, and there are no new traits, no new like traits for Sims. There were new lot traits. Now, so another category is just other things that they talked about. Now, anyone can have roommates, not just in university housing, and you would like go on your computer and I think on the phone, and you can advertise for roommates, and then people will come, and then you can choose one of the ones that come, or say you don't want them, you just don't have to accept them. And even if they do move in, you can essentially make them leave. They don't have to stay if you decide you're not happy with them. And roommates can be helpful or not so helpful. They can throw parties. They can be a slob. They can be all these different things. If you make friends with someone, you can ask them to be a roommate. And assuming they don't have any like dependents, then they can move in. But if they do, then they wouldn't move in. The pack integrates with seasons. I mentioned about the rain and servo and bots in general. The comment was that it's influenced by English weather, so it's kind of rainy and cloudy. Young adult, and seniors can attend university, so you're not limited to being a young adult. You can live in any world and still attend university, so you don't have to live in Brightchester. You can actually work while you're attending university, but it's not very well advised because your classes and your work schedule might conflict. So they were suggesting that the freelance careers were probably the best thing to do if you wanted to work while going to university. And the alternative was also some of the part-time careers don't conflict either, especially some of the ones that were later at night. They showed off the shower woohoo. You can get pregnant when you're going to university. You cannot have a baby living in a dorm, and you cannot have, obviously, babies, toddlers, children, and teens living in the dorms. But if you live in a residential lot in the university world, they can. And so if you even change a university lot or a dorm lot to be a residential lot and then make it kind of a hybrid dormitory, so it's not really a dormitory, but you can pretend it's a dormitory, then obviously you could have anyone living on that lot, including babies and up. I expect that if you got pregnant that maybe you couldn't have your baby if you were living there, kind of like with the vacation world, possibly. I don't know. They didn't really go over that. But obviously there's something to stop babies from moving into those worlds, those lots specifically, I should say, not the world. Now, the biking is in any world, and it builds fitness skill. Sims will age while they're attending university. I would kind of hope that if they haven't done it already, that they add a little bit of days to the young adult and adult life stage to essentially allow for some time to go to university and still be able to do everything else. I know Sims will get a boost and a head start on their career, but you still need time to have your Sim family, and I think you probably don't want to be having it when you're going to university, would be my guess. And I know with toddlers, when toddlers came out, they did not add any extra days to the 2 life stages when they first came out, but later on, months later, they made them longer. Because I think, if I remember correctly, they used to be 20 days per young adult and adult on a normal lifespan. Obviously, if you're playing with a long lifespan, it's probably not as hard. But now it's 24, so they added, or maybe it was 22 and they made it 24. But the point is, they made it longer. That's the main thing I'm trying to say. So I'm hoping they do the same thing. So each university has 3 different organizations, and for Foxbury, they have the Brainiacs, they have the Bot Club, and then they have a social club. And for Brightchester, they have essentially a social club, they have a debate club, and I can't remember what the other one was, but I'll try and put it up on the screen so you can see it. And there is one new social event called a keg party, so it has goals, just like anyone. One thing they did show is that when a Sim taps a keg, they can fail and they'll get embarrassed, which is kind of funny. One thing with the shower woohoo, which I kind of forgot, is that you can have shower woohoo in pretty much any shower except the new shower that's coming with this pack. Because it's not enclosed, it doesn't work. And the same with the one from Island Living. It's essentially very similar looking, but you can't with those 2 because they're not private. So that's kind of my overview of the pack information that we got. We did get a little bit of information about some new content coming with the game update. We are getting multi-story adjustable columns, which was hinted at in a tweet, and they showed it in action. So there are a few that are limited, that they can only go so tall, but most of what they showed there, which of course they only showed base game and Discover University, were able to go like up to, I think, 4 stories tall, and probably the highest one. And you have to get used to it, but you sort of drag it up is what it looked like you did, which is going to be really good with the new roofs, because you know how you can pull the overhang out on the roof, and sometimes when you have the columns, they don't necessarily go up to meet them depending on how high they are or where they are. Or I was trying to build something where I had like 2 stories and the roof went out, and I wanted to have a column go all the way up from the ground to the where the roof extended, and I couldn't do that without, essentially putting something like a balcony in the middle kind of thing. So, and there is also a new radio station, Hip Hop, which we already have. If you have Get Famous, Hip Hop is a radio station, but that radio station is now being made available for everybody in the game update. But there is some music that's going to continue to be exclusive to Get Famous that will not be going in base game. So as was indicated during the live stream, we are getting game changer content this weekend, and SimGuru Frost tweeted later that it's going to be starting Sunday, November 10th at 8 a.m. Pacific. Now, when someone had commented about the fact that the rooms in the live stream were bare compared to the trailer, the comment from SimGuru Frost was that we can recreate the rooms from the trailer, just that the university housing they were shipping was to accommodate for minimum specs players. But SimGuru Frost also commented that they are looking into putting the rooms on the gallery. The comment was, because Plumbob Pictures creates these in-game with the intention of using them for trailers, Sims may not be able to route around objects, so you may have to move some stuff around. Comment below your favorite thing or things from today's trailer. For me, my favorite item is the new chest. I really like that the computers can now be locked to whom you want to use it. And I also really like the flexibility they built into the pack. I like the fact that the builds, the university dorms can be changed to another lot type. And I like the fact that you can go to school from any of the worlds in the pack. So those are my favorite things. That's going to be it for this video. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye! This has been Jennifer. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them below. I'd love to see them. If you liked the video, please leave a like. And if you'd like to see more videos of challenge, let's plays, tutorials, and occasional speed builds, please subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thanks very much!